This is going to be another Halloween themed sketch. I'm going to do a pumpkin with a spooky kitty sat on top. So I'm going to do it A5 size again. It's just print a copy of paper, and then I've got a HB mechanical pencil. And I'm going to do this sort of with like a square board around the outside. So to do that, I'm just going to use the width of my ruler. And then later on when I'm painting, I'm going to mask this area so that stays white. And then I'm going to paint on the inside. It'll all come together in the end. So what I'm thinking is the pumpkin at the bottom and then doing the cat sat on top. So I'm just going to rough out some shapes for it. So this is going to be like the general shape of the pumpkin on the bottom. And then sat on here we're going to have a cat or a kitty. Whatever you want to call it. A skinny neck, his tail coming up. So really I just sort of rough out the shapes. I don't pay any attention to great detail. These can be like his cheeks. I know this doesn't look like a cat at the minute, but it'll turn into one. Ears on either side. His nose. To be honest, I don't know what the different bits of the cat's called. Some big eyes. We have some whiskers coming off on the sides. One of his paws coming in, his arms. His other little paw. He's going to be sat on top of the pumpkin. So yeah, I've done it just really rough, just roughed out an idea, what I'm thinking of. And now I'm just thinking of the pumpkin. I'm going to give the pumpkin like a little bit of a character. I don't want to just do a pumpkin that's been cut out. It's sort of going to be like a real character. So I'll give him a nose a bit like a skull. And then put some eyes in. And do his mouth here. So making him into a little bit of character, just giving him a bit more life. Rather than it just being just a plain old pumpkin that's been carved out. I think I'll add some leaves in the background just to fill that out. Make his eyes a bit more this shape. Don't know if I want him that angry though. I think I want him a little bit happier. Well, yeah, I thought you can't do a bunch of Halloween stuff and not have no pumpkins in there and black cats. Gotta have that in. I'm going to do the mouth kind of like shriveled up, you know, like when you leave it and it starts to dry out. I think we'll give him some, we'll give him some fangs. I mean, it looks like he's starting to look a little bit angry, but I don't know. I'll keep going with it, see where it leads. So just gonna rough this around here now. Probably put a few lines in just to give that idea that it's, because it's kind of, when you get a pumpkin, it's got like those lines that go in it around it, but I don't know if I want to do them black or not yet, because it might be a little bit distracting. Yeah, liking the way this little guy's looking down here. Then I'm just going to do a couple of leaves up here. I know these aren't pumpkin leaves, but just a little something else to add to the design. To be honest, I don't really know what the pumpkin leaves do look like. Yeah, and I was thinking of throwing another one in here. Oh yeah, I'll throw another one in up here. And I think I'm going to do, on this bottom bit, I might do this like black, this bit. Do this black and we'll sort of bring up somewhat of a hill. And same up here. And I've brought like both pieces in just so it sort of draws your eye to the middle. That's why I've brought both slants in. I'm just going to do maybe some type of fence running down the side here. I suppose if I'd done it bigger, I could have maybe incorporated maybe some type of graveyard or something like that. But just keeping it small for now. It's just a fun little painting to do. Now I'm just thinking about this little spooky cat, Kitty. Want his fur a bit rough, don't want him too smooth. And this cat's going to be pretty much black as well, because I'm gonna paint a light background and then do dark, almost a silhouette of the cat sat on the pumpkin. Probably just leave a few little light bits. Get his tail coming off the back. Drawing his little nose. And feel free to comment and come up with a name for the little spooky kitty. Whatever you want to call him. We can choose a name. Give him some big round eyes. Oh, it's coming to life now. Some lights on there. Yep. Little skinny neck. I love the little skinny neck on it. And then rough this fur out here a little bit on the sides. Some longer ones on top. Don't forget big pointy ears. Yeah, and like I said, this is going to be pretty dark, all this bit, so I'm not really worrying too much about how the arms are coming down, because it will probably all just fade in and be more of a silhouette, like I said. Might just do some thinking about putting a tree in the background, but I don't know if that'll be, trying to cram too much into such a small space. And I think we're going to put a moon in the background, and to do that I'm just going to use a roll of masking tape here to draw the circle. And then that'll help the cat to stand out from the background, because it's got like a silhouette. But I'm going to keep the white border around the outside. Then this bit will be like square. So I think lastly I'm just going to maybe add in a couple of bats. Just like little small ones, little silhouettes of bats in the background. So just rough these out. I think we'll just maybe do just 2 other little bats here, just on different angles, slightly. Actually, I might do this for one on the same angle and then do this one here. Yeah, I'll do one here on this other angle. Yeah, and then do his little feet and his ears. Let's make this pen a little bit longer. And then we'll just draw in another little tiny one here. So I think that's pretty much it for the sketch. I'm just going to leave it really loose like that because I'm going to be transferring it to watercolour paper. So I'm not too worried about the lines being perfectly neat because I'll just sort that out as I'm tracing it through. So the next thing to do is to use the next thing to do is to use a light box and transfer it over to some watercolour paper. So I've got my rough sketch drawn out now and I've just stuck it on top of the light tracer, and I've got my cold press watercolour paper that I'm going to transfer the design onto. Just going to use a bit of masking tape on top just to hold it into place so it doesn't move while I'm tracing the paper. And I'm sorry if my head gets in the way, but I tend to get quite close when I'm lining it. So I've got a few different things to line it with. I've got a Sharpie permanent marker. It's a fine point. I've got a Micron 02 pen and a Faber-Castell F pen. And they're all waterproof fine liners so that when I paint over them later on, they won't mix with the inks. So I'm just going to turn this light off so I can see it a bit better. So I think I'm going to vary my line weight on this like I normally do. I'm going to use the Sharpie pen, the bolder line, to do the main outlines, and then use a thinner pen to do the bits on the inside. So let's get started. And this moon here, I think I might do that in pencil, and then because I don't want that to be a line around the outside, and then when I paint it, you sort of won't be able to see it. So I think I'm going to start off with doing the pumpkin. Quite like this little character. I'm not doing him really smooth as well. I want to give him a bit of life. I don't want it to like a really smooth outline around it. I think, yeah, I was debating whether I should do his mouth bold or not, but yeah, I'm going to do. I think we're going to have to give him fangs because I've sort of gone over the end there. See this leaf in the background. Yeah, yeah, I may as well do his nose as well, bold. Fit in with everything else then. Put all these in. And do the bottom of his eyes as well. yeah, I'm not permanently sticking to what the sketch is underneath. Like, if I think a line will look a bit better a different way, I'll do it a bit different. But I am following it for the majority of it, but definitely don't 100% stick to that. I think something else is going to work. And I like this little character up here, this little cat. I don't know if he's a cat or a kitten. My little sister before called him a spooky kitty, so that's why I'm thinking call it a kitty instead. I suppose he'd be a little bit of a stray cat while he's roughed up hair. And I've just left these little gaps here because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do the whiskers coming off yet. So if I just leave it open for now, I can fill it in later on. If I feel like changing anything. Just wondering if there's anything else I want to do. Bold lines. I think I'll just fill some of these in. Perhaps I'll do that bit. I know there's the bit on top of the pumpkin that should be in there, but I've just left it off. Just because I don't want to make things too complicated. It gets a bit confusing then if you've got little lines everywhere, and these little lines here are just to suggest the idea of the shape that the pumpkin tends to be. And then now I've just picked up, I'm going to use my 0.5, no sorry it's not 0.5, it's the 0.5 micron. Actually no, I'm changing my mind again. I'm going to use a Faber-Castell F pen now. I'm a bit indecisive as to what I want to use. So yeah, I'm going to give the pumpkin some eyelids. I think this pen's ready for going. And I've just drew in these other little lines here just to give that little idea that it's been cut out on a pumpkin, like he's been carved out. Making his little mouth there though, the way it tucks in with these bits. I think I'll fill these pupils in on this. Just thinking about how to go about doing them. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do big circle ones. And then leave a little circle there just for the highlight. I'm just sticking a few extra rough little hairs stuck out here and there. This into a bit more of a point. It's going to go around there, so I just fill that bit in. A few little rough hairs as well there, just going into the ears. think I'm just going to fill the bats in next, doing black. These are just like silhouettes, so just doing them solid black. Just thought they work well with the theme we're going with. Don't know what that bat wing's doing, looks like it's got a bit weird. Be okay. Yes. Cool, yeah, and we'll just stick another one up here. I was originally thinking maybe I should do them all like with the wings at different points. Like some of them tucked up, or maybe on different angles, but decided to just leave it really simple and just stick with all pretty much the same really. And then I'm just thinking I might draw this little fence bit in after I've done the painting, just so I get a nice square edge, and then add that bit later on. So now I'm going to use the 02 micron pen to just put in some little bits on these leaves. To be honest, I can't remember what those bits are called. Do them a little bit wavy as well. I think I might give the pumpkin a few little hairs as well, just stuck out here and there. As I keep saying, give him a little bit more character. A few those little random dot things I like doing. And I think that's pretty much it for the outline as to what I'm going to do. I will bring in some more lines here stuck out for the whiskers, but I'm not quite sure how I've decided how I'm doing them yet, so I'm just going to leave them blank for now. So I think the next step now is I'm just going to draw a few little reference lines in pencil, just so a guide as to where to stick the masking tape, and then I'm going to start painting it. So using a light box now, I've transferred the design to the watercolour paper, and I'm going to use a white border, and to do this I'm just going to use some regular masking tape, but I'm just in pencil first. I'm just going to draw some little guidelines as to where I want to stick it, just because I want to do it about the width of the ruler, just because I think that'll just look nice with what the size of paper is. So down the side there, I've just done 3 little marks. I'm going to do the same on each side. And I've used pencil because so I can erase it later on. So I don't want it to be permanently stuck there. Right, so now I've done that, I'm just going to pull off pieces of masking tape, and I'm going to stick them down using those markers that I've put down. So I don't quite like that piece of masking tape, it's a bit dirty on the edge, so I'm just going to get another piece. I think it's my fault, to be honest, where I've been leaving it. I think I'm going to come just on the inside of that line actually, so that I can erase the line before I start painting, because I'm just thinking maybe if it's a light tone, Might not be able to erase it after if it shows through. So I've stuck that down. Yeah. And then I'm just going to get a piece of kitchen roll, just because my fingers aren't the cleanest, and I'm just going to use that just to rub the edge down, just because I don't want any dirt off my fingers rubbing down the side of the paper. So I'm just using this instead. I'm just going to do the same on all sides. So just the lines on the inside, so I can erase it before I start painting. And I just put one on the centre as well, just because sometimes you stick the masking tape on it, it comes down on a bit of an angle. But if you have that little marker there, it should help you keep it in the right spot. Yeah, and you want to make sure that edge is really stuck down, because if that edge isn't stuck down, your ink's going to run underneath. So just two smaller pieces now on the top and the bottom. There. And there. Just move it up just a tiny bit. So stick this down here. There you go. I'm going to make sure these edges here really stuck down, because you don't want the ink running underneath that edge and then down that edge. So just make sure it's really stuck down. I know some people like to use masking fluid as well underneath, but I normally just go for it and see what happens. And if any does bleed underneath, I'll just cover it up with some white paint. And I know in my last video something happened with the audio and I couldn't get it to sync properly. And I set it to the right, well, kilohertz, but I don't quite understand what's going on with that. So hopefully when I'm pulling the masking tape off, it looks like it makes sense and all the audio is in sync with this video. But if not, I'm still having problems. But I'm sure it's nothing you can't put up with. Right then, so now all this outside edge is going to be white, and I'm going to put some ink on the inside. But I'm also going to do a pencil line of the moon. It's going to be in this corner. So just have a quick think about where I want to place that moon. Thinking, yeah, I'll place it there so this corner here, we don't end up with a little odd bit there. I'll just bring it down a little. Now I suppose this is where masking fluid would come in handy, because if I had masking fluid, I could mask all this edge off and then paint that and then paint around it again. I feel like I've done that a bit too heavy, so I'm just going to erase it slightly, because it's just a guide to paint around. And then I'm just going to erase those little pencil marks that I put on, just to show me where those bits were. Right. So with this piece, because I'm doing a background, I'm going to do the background first before I put any black into it. Just because that's how I normally like doing it, and if the background goes horribly wrong, well, you've not painted all your design and then wasted all your time, because you have to redo it because the background's messed up. So if you do the background first, you know you're good to go. So I'm just going to choose some colours now and then we'll get started. So I'm going to start with the background first, and I think I'm going to do the moon, because I think I'm going to do the moon lighter than what the background is behind it. You probably can't see that line that I have drawn because it's really faint. And I'm going to use some same colours as what I used in the last video. If you watch the other Halloween one, the Bride of Frankenstein, sorry. I've got that colour I can't pronounce again, that green colour that I need to learn. Tobacco brown, chose some coffee brown, grass green, sunset orange, and moss red, and then I'm going to use Winsor & Newton as a black Indian ink. But I might get some other colours out, and I might not use them all, but these are just the ones I thought make use of for this piece. But yeah, the colours in this are mainly going to be, cat's going to be black, another green moon, pumpkin's going to be orange, probably the cat's eyes orange, and then the green leaves. So there's not loads of colours in this piece. So to start off, whoa. I'm using the same technique again. I've got two brushes. I've got a bigger one for the water brush and then a smaller one that I'm using to apply the ink. To start off, I'm just going to get some of this 34C, the Chartreuse one I got. It's Dr. P.H. Martin's Radiant Watercolour inks. I'm just going to put some in here, but I'm going to water it down quite a bit. Just because I just want to apply like a light tone first. And being honest, normally now I wouldn't have this taped to the desk. I'd be able to move it around. So I'd be able to move the moon part to the bottom here and then I could paint there a lot easier. But just because I'm making a video on that, I'm going to leave it taped where it is so it stays on camera. And hopefully my head doesn't get in the way too much while I'm doing this. So as you can see there, I'm just mixing up. It's just like a really light green. Not quite sure if that'll be enough. I might need a little bit more. I've decided to pick a slightly bigger brush up as well, because at the minute I'm just going to give it a full coat, the green colour. So yeah, make sure all your masking tape's stuck down proper on the edge here, because you don't want your ink running underneath and spoiling the background or border. And now I'm just going to paint just one solid tone of that green colour that's watered down. I'll probably do a few layers and then try and add a bit of texture. I've not really thought about how I'm adding texture yet, but that's what the plan is. And then here I'm just following that pencil line around that I did. Yeah, and I'm not worrying too much about the little bits that's gone on the cat there, because the cat's going to be mostly black anyway. So I think I might just give it one more layer, like just another solid layer of just the same. It'll just help darken it up a little bit. So there now we've got two layers of the green on. I just add a little bit more here just at the bottom. But I've been working on while it's wet, so because I keep working on it while it's wet, the layers aren't like really, it's not like a strong layer over the top, whereas if I let that dry and then paint over the top, there'll be a much bigger difference than just doing this. But yeah, I'm just going to soak up this little bit of ink here on the edge because I don't really want that sat around the edges. And then I think while that's drying now, I'm going to work on some other parts of it. So I think I might think about this little background, the dark bit at the bottom that I was thinking. And I'm just going to draw this in just using a fine liner. This is a 0.5 micron. So just do like a bit of a hill thing coming in. Same on this side. I'm just thinking how I'll go around here. Then now, just going to do some little lines. It's going to be like a fence, but cutting through there. And I'm not doing them all really neat and that, because I don't really like stuff like that. I normally like stuff where it's a bit, I always feel like it's got a bit more character. If it's a bit goofy or stuff's quite not right. And then now I'm just going to fill all this bottom bit with just black. To do this, I'm going to use a Winsor & Newton black Indian ink. And I'm just playing around on this bottom bit because that top bit I don't really want to touch yet until that dries, and I don't want to bring this other background down the side here because it might bleed into it. So I'll just concentrate on the bottom. So I think I'm just going to paint it straight out of the bottle. Sometimes I do just use a permanent marker and fill it in, but you can also, because the paper is quite textured, you can damage the ends. Well, you know, your nibs of your Sharpie pen will wear down a lot faster. So I've shook this up, so there's quite a few bubbles in there, but sure will be all good. So yeah, I'm just double thinking, do I want to do that all black? Well yeah, I'll do it all black, we'll see how it works out. This is just like an old brush really, to be honest here. It's a bit knackered, so not bothered about using Indian ink for this. And same again, I'm not trying to let too much ink build up onto the corner. There you go. Is that a bit? I was thinking about, I don't know if I should put a tree in the background maybe, or some little tombstones, but it can get a bit too busy if you're trying to put too many little details in there. Sometimes you're better off just leaving it simple. Maybe if it was a bigger piece, I'd definitely do some more detail in there and some more ideas in the background, maybe put a little church in there. So I'm just gonna fill a bit too much paint on my brush here. Just dab it off. Do you have too much? Well, there's the bottom. Yeah, I think it might work quite well really. I have all the black there, there'll be lots of black in the cat. I think I might, while I'm here now, I might just fill in the pumpkin's mouth, because I'm going to do that black. Just need to clean my brush off that I've been using. It'll just take a couple of seconds just because it's quite a large brush. Oh, it's not really that large, but you have to rinse it through a few times. Yeah, so I'm just going to switch to a much smaller brush here just to fill this in. I did think about doing maybe some colour coming out of the mouth as if it was lit up, but then I figured just solid black, can't go wrong. There we go. Yeah, it's working. But then I thought maybe it'll be like you can see through his mouth into the background, but I don't think it'll be like that. I think it'll work. And there's his nose. Just thinking about, is there any other little bits I should fill in? Might make that bat a bit bolder in a bit. But yeah, I think I'll for now I'll just stick with that, and hopefully that moon should be pretty much dry. I should be able to add another layer on top. And when I add the other layer on top, I think I'm going to use a darker green. Got this grass green here. See what this is like. I'll just leave my black open for now because I'm going to need that in a bit. So, stick some. Oh yeah, it is darker. I think though, I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to water it down some. Because I don't want it too strong and it'll just stand out too much because it's only the background, so I want it quite subtle. Not too subtle, but I don't want it just to overtake everything. So I'll just get this green here, because I think that's definitely going to be enough to stand out on that background. And I've just thought that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to wet the background first. Wet the moon, sorry. And then add the ink. It's okay, I can do that. So, I'm gonna wet the moon. The green moon. I'm gonna add some, using the darker green. Just gonna sort of like spill it in there and just let it do its thing. Because I know I said I was adding some texture, but I'm not going for realistic moon or anything. It's just want to throw in some little bit of something just to break it up, so it's not all just really green. And like, see what this comes out like. Oh, yeah, it's working. It's all working. Be a bit cautious of letting that ink sit around in there. But yeah, you get like some nice effects, I think, if you just wet the paper and then just let the ink fall into it and let it do its, just let it naturally just do its thing. Don't try and push it around too much, just see what shapes it makes. And I'm just going to go over a few little bits. I'm just going to smooth them out so it's not all just like just spread out on its own. Just going to get the lighter green here, and to be honest here, I'm just experimenting. I'm just putting it down and just seeing how it comes out. I don't know how it's going to work, just because I want that a bit more, not intense, but a bit stronger than what it is. Just put a few more little drops of this green in, and then I think I'm going to leave the moon there. Don't want to overwork it too much. Yeah, so that's the moon done. But I'll probably have to wait for that to dry before. I mean, I could risk it, but I could bring this edge down and round. But I just don't want the colours to bleed into each other. So I think for now, I'm just going to let that dry, and then I'll fill this other background bit in, and then I'll start the rest of the painting. So that moon's pretty much dry now. It's not 100% dry, but I think it's dry enough to work around it. And I've just got this ice blue out, and I've mixed it with a bit of the green grass, and I've got this colour here, which is like it's like a turquoisey blue colour, but I'm just going to test it just on the kitchen towel there, just to see how dark it is. I think I'm just going to add a little bit more ice blue to it. I'm going to use this for this background here. So I'll put that on there. Yeah, that's a bit more of the, maybe, I don't know, I was thinking maybe a little bit darker still, but I think I'll go with that. I'm going to use that as the background. And I think I'm going to throw some black in there as well, just streaking across. And to do that, I'm going to use an Ecoline black that I have. It's in the drawer here somewhere. Yeah, I've got an Ecoline black ink. I'm just going to use that just because I like to prefer using this when I'm doing the backgrounds. So to do this, I'm going to wet it all first. Do a slightly bigger brush. Hold on 1 second. As usual, I'm not prepared. Yeah, so I've got a slightly bigger brush here. And firstly, I'm just going to wet the whole area. Let's get it. You don't need a pool of water sat on top, but you want it just so it's damp. I'm tempted to go straight over that tail because I think I'm going to do that black anyway. I think I am. So I'm just putting my head to the side just so I can see, just with the reflection in the light, how wet it is. So it's got like a little shine on it. It's not really shiny, but probably should have been a bit smoother around that moon because I wasn't thinking. Just wet around this side. Wet that down to there. Right, so now that's got nice and damp layer. I'll just pick up some of this blue that are mixed up, and I'm just going to sort of just throw it in. I'm not worrying too much about stuff being really neat. And then I'm just going to play around with it. Get a bit more blue. Yeah, I'm going to do that tail just solid black, so I'm not worrying about that. Just a bit more of that darker bit there, just bring that in. Fill this in over here. And to be honest, every one of these backgrounds that I do are experimental because I don't really know how it's going to come out. I've got a rough idea, but can't tell you exactly what it'll look like in the end. Like, that's probably gone a lot darker than what I was expecting it to, but not worried. Just tuck this up into here. I'm just going to try and take just a bit of this, make that a bit lighter, and just bring a bit of this darkness over here, just so it sort of all blends in together as one background. It's not like two separate things on each page, each side of the page, sorry. I might just go in and just add a few little bits on here. To help break it up a little bit. Yep. That's all I really tend to do, to be honest, is just play around and see what comes out. See what cool effects you can make and different things. I'll probably put some little white bits in as well, just some little stars. So I'm going to make this just a little bit lighter down here. To do that, I'm just going to wet it, and I'm just going to dab it off the tissue. It's because I want like a light blue on the bottom. So now all we got to do is wait and let that dry, and then we can fill in all the other bits, because that's pretty much the background done. Just spotted a little bit there. Just fill that in. There we go, yep. So let that dry, and then can move on to doing the background. Keep saying, move on to do the background, sorry, move on, do this little bit on the inside. Keep playing around with it. Keep saying I'm done, and then I'll go in and I'll throw down a little bit more. It's kind of like a black cloud. It's coming in. But yeah, experiment, play around, don't be scared of stuff going horribly wrong, because at the end of the day it doesn't matter. Just do another painting. Just try out different techniques. Like here, I'm just dry brushing, I'm just making up as I go along. There we go. And I think, yeah, that's it now. I'm not touching that again. One more time. Yeah, right. So leave that now to dry, and then we'll move on to the rest of it. So I've left it for about 15 minutes now, and I'm gonna remove the masking tape from around the outside because the background's dried. So to do this, I'm just gonna go over the masking tape, and I'm gonna pull it away from the painting. That way, if there is any little tears, it'll tear back, and this will end up getting ripped and you won't be able to see. Just do the same on the top. Seems to have turned out alright. Yep, turned out fine that. So now I'm just going to use an eraser, and I'm just going to rub these little pencil marks out that I put on before. I'm going to take this piece of masking tape off now as well. Just going to erase all those lines. So now I'm going to move on to filling in all the black areas on the painting. Just going to get a fresh piece of kitchen roll, just to rub any excess ink off, and to clean my brush if I need to. Okay, so for me black work, I'm going to use Winsor & Newton Black Indian ink. So I'm just going to wet it first, the area. We get the Black Indian ink and just put that into it. Yeah, I was thinking of doing these green, but I'm not sure if maybe I should choose like a golden yellow, like a brownish colour maybe, like an autumn looking colour. Might do that instead. But then again, the pumpkin's going to be orange, so don't want that to clash too much. I'm putting quite a bit of black down on these because it Don't want them to be too bright. I'm gonna add the green later. Yeah, and then just keep rotating the painting around, make it easy on yourself. Don't be trying to do like a weird awkward angle if you don't need to. Gonna work both sides of the leaf. I'm gonna do the dark bit in the centre. Work it to the outside. Yeah, I think I might do another video as well soon, just like specifically on spit shading, and just show like some close-ups and maybe 2 different camera angles. Just for anybody who is still struggling with that technique, just so you can see it in the best possible way. So, I think I might do some on the pumpkin's face now. Just some black eyes underneath. I think to do the pumpkin I might do like a yellowish tone over it all and then bring through some darker bits. Just wondering how I should go about doing these eyes on the top, I think. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just scoop this round here. Don't know, that's probably a bit too grey around the eye, but we'll just leave it for now and see how it works out. Probably should have just done it on top like that and then left it. Do the same on the other side just so it doesn't end up looking really odd or anything. I'm going to add a bit more black as well on this back bit here. Bring this round. And I know I do seem to be going quiet quite a bit, but I don't want to just be talking a lot of rubbish on here, so just talk when I've got something to say, rather than just going on. Yeah, I think I should have faded that out a bit more so it's more like a hole rather than putting an edge on it. These are just like little shadows under the creases, but paying too much attention to how they're working out. Keep going to go into that blue. Just thinking now, should I add any more black to the pumpkin, or maybe I should just leave it there before I get too carried away. I'm just going to fill this tail in here while I'm here. So definitely going all black. Start filling some of this cat in. And yeah, if you can think of a name for him, just leave a comment below. Just thinking about, yeah, I'm just gonna go solid black. Can't go wrong, can you? Solid black cat. I give him some little eyelids. That idea is not really working that I was thinking, but oh no. So happens when you try and make it up on the go. Ideas don't work. It's okay, I've got another plan. But yeah, I'm always just doing stuff and then just thinking, oh, could do this, could do that. As I'm going along, I've never really got like fixed into anything. If I want to change something up, I'll just do it. Make this a little bit wider, a bit more thickness. But to be honest, I'm thinking this cat might look a bit too daft if it's just solid black. And don't put anything else in there. So I'm not sure yet. We'll see. Here I'm just going to make something up. I'm just going to like fade it a little bit over where I drew those little lines and that. Just a lot of black went down there, more than what I was supposed to. Yeah, we brought a little lighter bit in there where a little bit overlaps. Might just bring a little lighter bit in here as well. the black cat. I think this bottom bit, I'm not going to pay too much attention to detail, I'm just going to keep it simple. There we go. Oh, I'll tidy that edge up in a minute just with a marker pen. And then just put a bit of shadow on his eyes there, his eyelids. I think I'm just going to do as well, just bring a bit of grey down through there, just so it's a bit darker up top. Yeah, so there's just a few little white spots where the ink's not quite gone, so I'm just going back, filling those bits in. And I think I'm pretty much done for black. Yeah, I was thinking of adding some more on the what you call it? I can't even think what it's called now. The pumpkin. So I've got this, what colour is this? This is deep yellow Ecline ink. I'm going to give the full pumpkin just like a watered down version. Well, a diluted, should I say. So like a diluted wash with this yellow. Yeah.
Do you want a bacon butty?
Yes, please.
It will be made by my mum, 'cause me and Dad are going to Smith.
Okay. Thanks. See you.
Yeah.
So I'm just building a few different layers. Probably should have added a bit, I'm going to add a bit more yellow. It's not quite yellow enough. I'm going to use the same yellow as well, just on the cat. Just bring this in here, but I will be giving it some more coats. Maybe do his nose as well. I feel like I've gone really quiet now and stopped talking loads. And I think this video might get a bit boring. So we're going to use, as the main orange colour, Sunset Orange. That's the Dr. Martens Radiant Watercolour inks. And I'm just going to work on this while it's still drying, to be honest. Bring in some bits like this. just doing like streaky lines through it. And as usual, I'm just playing around with it, just see what comes. Probably going to need another coat because I'd like it a little bit more orangey than that. It's coming together now. Oh, so yellow nose. So I've been adding that orange, but I'm not quite happy with how dark it is, so I've got some amber yellow and I'm gonna add some of this to it and see how it starts coming out. Now this looks quite red, so I just mix it in with a bit of that. Just making it up as I go along, so that's quite orangey now. And I'm just going to throw it in there, see what happens. Seems too bad. Just gonna mash it in a little bit, just so the little stripes don't stand out too much. And then I think using straight out, like the colour straight from there, just going to put it in around the eyes because I want it to be dark around there. And just because I put a bit too much grey down there, so just help cover that up. Then I'm just going to take some more of this orange and I'm going to use that on the inside lips. Should have waited for that to dry, but just going for it. Sure, I think I might just, yeah, we'll make it like he's got blood or something coming out of his mouth. We'll go with that technique. Well, idea, should I say, rather than technique. Yeah, I'm going to get some red. I'm going to throw some red in there. See what colours I've got. I'm going to use some crimson, actually, I was going to use crimson red, but it looks like it's gone black. Something's not good there. I'm going to use scarlet red. Dab some of this in. Oh, I'm liking the look of that. Huh. Pumpkin's been eating some, I don't know what he's been eating, but I'm sorry, but I didn't realise my camera had stopped recording again. Because the problem is I use a picture camera to make videos with, so it only records for about 22 minutes and then it switches off. And maybe it did beep, but I didn't hear it beep saying that it'd switched off. So you might have lost a couple of minutes in between. But yeah, this is where we're up to. I just need to, I'm going to sort out a little bit on the cat there where I messed up. I'm just going to use a fine liner and go around it. I'm going to do the eyes on the pumpkin, these leaves, and probably do a few little white dots and stuff in the background, and then we're done. So just going to get the fine liner and just touch up these little bits where it went rough before, because I was just trying to make it up as I went along and it didn't really work out. And I think, yeah, we'll just draw some of these whiskers in here. I think I should have drawn them the other way so it flicks out, but done it now. Yeah, there we go. A few whiskers in there. I'm just going to put a few more of these little dots as well. That'll give the pumpkin a little bit of texture. Yep. And I'm just going to use this marker as well. There's a few little white bits that I've missed. I'm just going to fill them in. So yeah, I was debating on doing these leaves a different colour, but I'm just going to stick with green. But I don't want it to clash too much with that, so I'm going to pull out a different colour green that I've got, which is this April green. I don't think I've ever used this, to be honest. April green. I might have, but I can't remember. So I'll just throw a bit of that down. And I think I'm just gonna put this straight in. I'm not gonna bother fading it out any or blending it. I'm just gonna put it straight in as it is. And I don't even, is that the apple green? I forgot which one I put it into. Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe putting a bit of pink in the eyes. Oh, actually, I might use the tobacco brown. Might use a bit of tobacco brown and then maybe add a little bit of pink into the eyes of the pumpkin. Yeah, we'll do that. Use some tobacco brown. Just because I don't want them white. Just want to add a bit of colour in there. Just gonna wet it first and then, yeah, it's tobacco brown. Just gonna throw a bit of that in. Bit of an earthy tone. And then, while it's still wet, I'm going to pick up some moss rolls and throw some of that in. As you can see, I'm I'm not even hitting the right colours. I'm just picking stuff up. Oh, that went more red than what I thought I was going to do. More the colour it should have been. And I'm going to add a few little stars in there. I'm just going to use a white gel pen to do that. Oh, the back end of the pen's come off. I feel like these videos started off good and then now they just sort of turn into a fumbling mess. Yeah, so background here. These are just like little stars. I don't know, I think they look cool. Maybe we'll put some in this blood as well. Some little bits on there. I was thinking of doing maybe a few whiskers in the white, but I'll leave it. Just do his pupils there to make them really stand out. And I think we're done. Yep. Just need to put a little signature on there somewhere. Just thinking where to do it so I don't just wreck it. I'm never sure about signing stuff, where to put things. Just do it in here. So there we go. There's the spooky kitty and pumpkin. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I know at the end it went a bit quiet and it got a bit long-winded as usual, but yeah. And it's another Halloween themed painting done. And I'll see you next time.